and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget, a UK registered nurse. On this channel, I talk about migration, work, and stuff like that. If you are interested in content like this, please subscribe. But I am not an immigration officer or consultant, and I am not an employer. So please don't contact me to find you a job. Today, I'll be talking about IELTS, but the interesting thing is I've got an IELTS tutor, so someone who knows more about IELTS to tell us everything about IELTS. And this is something very important to me. I want to thank you all for the subscription. We hit 1,000 subscribers and we are still counting. And I'm very, very, very grateful to every single person staying honest, true, and committed to this channel. And I promise you, I'm not going to disappoint. I'm going to keep giving you very good and excellent content. This video, I think, is going to help a lot of people. Those preparing for IELTS, those who have sat it several times and failing. We are going to talk about some of the challenges IELTS candidates face, those studying on their own, those who join IELTS classes. We are going to address everyone. So please stay tuned to the end of this video.
So like Bridget, we're classmates back in Ghana. Then I know that probably I was doing well in class than you. Then I've heard that you've passed the exams. Then because of that, I assume I also passed. So I rushed into writing the exams, only to realize that the exams comes with its own technicalities.
And please, if you are new to the channel, kindly remember to subscribe. Subscription happens once. If you subscribe once, you don't need to subscribe again. Hello everyone. So as I mentioned earlier, I have here an IELTS tutor. He has experience in teaching face-to-face and experience in teaching online IELTS class. So if you are interested in knowing everything about IELTS and some of the challenges you can overcome, kindly stay tuned to this video, and I will allow our dear guests to introduce himself to us. Wadud, you're welcome to our channel. Can you introduce yourself to our dear viewers?
Thank you very much, Bridget. My name is Farid Abdul Wadud, as you rightly said, and I am a practicing nurse in the United Kingdom. I actually relocated from Ghana, and I currently practice with a private hospital in England.
All right, so that's everything about Wadud. Wadud, can you tell us something about IELTS? What is this IELTS all about? We've heard so many noise about IELTS. Can you tell us something small? You're not here to teach us, just tell us something small.
All right, brilliant. And let me thank all your viewers for watching this particular video, and I'm very sure it's going to be helpful for them. So I would advise them to continue watching till the end, because it's going to help them. So basically, IELTS is an English test. So the full meaning of IELTS is International English Language Testing System. And what it does is to help you to be able to relocate to your dream country to practice, or to be able to relocate to your dream country to school, or to be able to do both. And the IELTS is generally divided into two, although we have other types of IELTS, but generally we have two types of IELTS. We have the IELTS academic, and we have the IELTS general. So even with the IELTS academic, we have the standard IELTS academic, we have the UK via IELTS academic, as well as the standard IELTS general and that of the UK via. So generally, these are the types of IELTS and what IELTS does.
Okay, so apart from IELTS, do we have any other English language tests available?
Yes, please. There are a lot of other English language tests you can write to achieve your dream. So first of all, we have another test called OET, and the full name is Occupational English Test. It is an exam you can also write to relocate to your dream countries to practice. For example, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, among other countries. We also have another exam called SAT. SAT is Scholastic Aptitude Test, which entails mathematics and English. And this is an exam you can also write to be able to pursue your academic career in some countries. So there are a lot of other English language tests you can write to be able to achieve your dream. It depends on what you really want to do. And also, IELTS is very popular in recent times because of its benefits. Yes.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, what informs someone's decision on the kind of exam to write? Whether to write IELTS, whether to write OET. And then secondly, even if I want to write IELTS, which IELTS am I writing? What should inform my decision before I choose any of them?
Alright, so generally your decision to write the exams you want to write has to do with what you want to use your results for. So for example, if you want to travel to the United Kingdom to work as a nurse or as a midwife or as a doctor, it should inform you not to write SAT, because SAT will not allow you to be able to realize this dream. If you want to travel to probably Canada to work as a nurse, it should inform you the type of exams you should write. Now, generally, IELTS is able to help you to relocate to a lot of English-speaking countries. In fact, it has a wide periphery, let me put it that way. So that is why it is very popular in recent time, because of that. So if you want to travel to work as a nurse or as a midwife or as a doctor in the United Kingdom, for example, then you ask me, then I tell you to write IELTS academic. Now, with the IELTS academic, I can advise you further if you want to work as a nurse or as a doctor or as a midwife or as a psychiatric nurse in the United Kingdom. I can advise you further either to write the standard IELTS academic or to write the IELTS academic UKVR. Now, I can go to explain to you why I would advise you to write the standard IELTS academic or the IELTS academic UKVR. So it basically depends on what you want to do. But generally, as the name implies, IELTS academic, so you can use it for academic purposes like schooling, and the general IELTS can also be used for work, especially in countries like the Canada. Now, but if you want to relocate to countries like UK, Ireland, United States, you have to use IELTS academic to work. And if you want to relocate to these same countries to school, you still have to use IELTS academic. So IELTS academic has the benefit of being able to help you to relocate to work, at the same time being able to use it to school.
Right. So I agree with your point about knowing what you want to use your results for before registering for your IELTS. Because even for the school, I understand some schools don't even require IELTS. IELTS is not part of the requirements. So you don't need IELTS. So you know what you are using it for. You know the school you are applying to before you register. And then you are registering for each of them. You should also know your band score. When you research into what you are using it for, it will tell you that this is the score we want you to get. Well, I'll leave that part to you to tell us more about the individual aspects of IELTS. IELTS has 4 modules. What does it constitute?
Thank you very much once again. So, as I said, IELTS is an English language test that you take. Now, this English language test is divided into 4 components. If you want 4 modules.
Not to cut you short, for those preparing to write IELTS, this is a free introduction to IELTS class. Just take it, because if you understand that you have 4 modules in IELTS, when you pick any IELTS material, you'll be able to understand it. Sometimes when you pick a Cambridge PDF document, you don't even know what you are looking at, because you don't even know the modules involved in IELTS. This is free introduction to IELTS class. Take it serious. Let's go on.
Alright, so I'll continue. As I said, it's an English test which is divided into 4 components or 4 modules. Now, if I say 4 components or 4 modules, it means that they are going to test you on 4 things. 1, they are going to test you on writing. 2, they will be testing you on listening. 3, they will test you on reading. And they will also be testing you on speaking. So these are the 4 modules or components of IELTS that will be testing you on the exam day. Now, when you take each of these modules, they are going to grade you. So if you do the writing, they will grade you for writing. They will grade you for listening. They will grade you for speaking as well as writing. Now in IELTS, we don't call it grade. We call it band score. So you get a band score for writing, get a band score for reading, band score for listening, as well as a band score for speaking. So these band scores that you get will determine whether you'll be able to live your dreams or you wouldn't be able to live your dreams. So depending on the country you want to relocate to, then it will tell you what band scores you need to get in each of these 4 modules. Now, after you get the band scores in each of these 4 modules, because there are 4 modules, they divide your band scores by 4. So if you get writing, maybe it's band 7, reading band 7, listening band 7, and speaking band 7. So it means that each of these 4 components or modules you have band 7. So you add 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 over 4. So we call it the average of the band score. So this average is also very important because your individual performance will determine the average. So some of the countries will look at the average as well as the individual band scores. Some will only look at the average. So it also depends on what you want to use it for. For example, those who went to school, some of the schools are very particular about just the overall band score. But if you want to use it for work, most of the countries are particular about the individual components that you write, the scores you get, because it will be a reflection in your overall band score. So basically, that's what happened. And the band score starts from 0 to 9 for IELTS. 0 means you haven't scored anything, and 9 means you've gotten the ultimate score. So reading, if you get band 2 in reading, it means you are almost failing or getting nothing. And if you get band 9 in reading, it means that you've scored almost everything. So basically, that's how it is graded. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that short introduction. Now, I want to ask, people have been writing IELTS multiple times. What do you think are some of the challenges that students or candidates face that make them fail IELTS and have to go back and write?
Everybody not brilliant. So there are a lot of things that usually make people unable to meet their advanced scores when they write the IELTS exams. So I'll be very happy for everyone to listen to me, especially for those who are taking the decision to start writing the exams, and also for those who have been writing for a number of times and are not making their advanced score. So first of all, those who are going to write for the first time, what some people do is that they've heard some of their colleagues have written and have passed. So like Bridget, we're classmates back in Ghana. Then I know that probably I was doing well in class than you. Then I've heard that you've passed the exams. Then because of that, I assume I also passed. So I rush into writing the exams, only to realize that the exams comes with its own technicalities, and I get frustrated. Probably I will write again. Then I get frustrated. It means that I have to just give up like that. Now, that's what affects most people, especially people writing the first exam. They rush. They've not even tested themselves. They don't know their band scores before the exam, because you can know your band scores in the IELTS exam before the main exams. Now, for some people, they are doing the wrong things, especially those who have been writing for several times. They are doing the wrong things, and they've not gotten someone to tell them that what they are doing is wrong. So they keep repeating. They keep working hard on these same wrong things, and it affects them. So that's why you hear people have written the IELTS like 14 times, 10 times, and still not making their band score. So basically, before you write an IELTS, you should know the type of IELTS you are writing. Now, there are two ways you can start. You can either learn IELTS on your own or enroll in a good IELTS classes. I always say good IELTS classes.
I like this part coming from an IELTS tutor, encouraging people to either learn on their own or join a class, because most tutors will say, enroll in a class that will help you, you know. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's true. You can either learn IELTS on your own or enroll in a good IELTS classes. Now, the difficulty is that people are not able to tell whether these classes are about enrolling with is very good and they are going to help me live my dreams. So most people rush and register and now regret. So I always advise people that before you enroll in any IELTS class, you should know people that you really trust who have gone through that particular class and can vouch for how good the class is before you enroll, because there are a lot of people taking advantage of the fact that more people need to pass the IELTS and charge them a lot of money and end up not being able to deliver. I have a lot of people in my classes who have paid for as much as 2,000 Ghana cedis. I don't know its equivalent in other currencies in other countries, but it is more than £100, like, you know, about £150. So, and they end up not understanding even basic IELTS. So they easily give up. So that is the point. So secondly, those who would want to learn on their own should know that the IELTS has 4 modules or components. So I tell people to plan. Now, it depends on your understanding of English, basic English. First of all, take your time and make sure that you look at each of the 4 modules individually. So for example, you can dedicate 2 or 3 days or 1 week, depending on the time you have, to learn only IELTS listening. Now, how do you do this? There are 2 ways. You can either download materials online or go on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and type IELTS listening materials or IELTS listening videos. You have countless videos from people about IELTS. Now, some are better than the others, but when you listen to some of them, it gives you an idea of what listening is about. So for 2 days, that is what you'll be doing, to just have an understanding of what listening is about. Then the next 2 or 3 days or 1 week, depending on how you portion or how you plan, you just go online and search for IELTS reading videos. Then you go through them for 2-3 days. That's what you just do. Then you understand what goes about or what entails or what is entailed in the IELTS reading. Then you do the same for speaking as well as listening. So it means that in a space of 2 weeks or 1 week or 1 month, depending on the number of days you give to each module, you would have been done going through each of these 4 modules. So the same as for those who would want to download materials to read. You know, some people get the understanding when they watch the video. Others would want to read themselves, and you can do both. It all depends on the time you get. So if you want to down excellent, I know you're a smart student. So if you want to download, so you can type IELTS reading materials and add PDF. So it comes in a PDF format and you can save it easily. Now you do save for the other 3 modules, then you get all the 4 modules. So within a space of 1 week, 2 weeks, you would have gone through all the 4 modules and you know what they are about. So what happens is that you have to now start testing yourself with real IELTS questions, which are available for everyone. We call them the Cambridge materials. So if you don't have any of these materials too, we have from Cambridge 3 or Cambridge 2 through to Cambridge 17. If I say Cambridge 2 to Cambridge 7, it means Cambridge 2 is a whole past questions on itself. Cambridge 3 is a whole past question. So when you copy each Cambridge material, you have questions on listening, speaking, writing, like real IELTS questions for you to test yourself. So the prescribed Cambridge materials for people who would want to start their IELTS now will be from Cambridge 10 through to Cambridge 17. So you go to Google. If you don't have any of these materials, just go to your search engine, type Cambridge 10 PDF, or you can do it Cambridge IELTS 10. You can even do it IELTS Cambridge material 10. Just make sure at the end you have the Cambridge and the 10 and add PDF. It will come in the form of PDF that you download. You can do same for Cambridge 11 PDF. It comes in PDF that you download through to Cambridge 17. So you get all these materials and you cannot upload them on your laptop or print them. Then you don't start testing yourself with the real IELTS questions. Then you solve listening questions. Then you note your challenges. Then you solve reading questions and note your challenges. Solve the writing questions, note your challenges, as well as the speaking. Now, when you note these challenges, for example, if you are doing the writing, for those who have been learning IELTS, you know that the writing also is divided into 2. So maybe an aspect of the first part you have challenges, maybe in the bar graph. So you can go to Google back again, or you can go on YouTube and go and type IELTS writing bar chart or how to solve bar chart questions in IELTS. So you can do that on YouTube, and you have a lot of videos on bar chart. You listen to them.
I can tell those in your class are really having fun.
Yes. That's why they all pass on their first attempt. Almost all of them pass on their first attempt, yes, because we take our time and look at it very well.
I trust my classroom.
Thank you very much, for that. So this is just for those who are in the house and want to learn it on their own. So you go back on YouTube, type the specific parts you are having problem, videos on that part will come. Then you listen or you watch all these videos and be able to pick up the good ones that will help you. Then you keep improving. Or you go, for those who would want to always read, then you go on Google or your search engine, type that particular problem you have. You have materials only designated for that part and read. So you realize that you keep improving. So you solve questions, note your problems, come back, read more of your problems, and that is how you are going to do. Now let me just add, IELTS is an exam which comes with its own technicalities. So that is why you have to really read a lot or watch more videos to understand these technicalities. And that is why if you get a good teacher who understands the nitty-gritties of IELTS, he's able to teach and explain things for you. So for my class, even the weakest students...
English right there. Let's go on.
Even the weakest student in my class is able to pass IELTS on the first attempt because of how we break the IELTS down for them to understand, and it is made practically. You understand? Because IELTS is not theory; it's practically. So we make sure that they are prepared practically. They know their scores before they go for the exams and they pass.
Right. So just to add, I also wrote IELTS. I studied IELTS on my own. In a way, I would say I rushed, but maybe I was just lucky. I rushed in writing because I started preparing in September and wrote my exam in November. So it was really short, and I was nursing my baby then. My baby was only 5 to 6 months old by that time. So what happened with me is that my husband downloaded videos from YouTube and then I watched them. That would give me the tips and the tricks involved in IELTS, the technicalities like you mentioned. And then I had a colleague gave me free IELTS materials, Cambridge. I had Cambridge 1 to 14 that time. So that was what I was studying with. And I managed to pull through. And then I'll recommend 2 YouTube channels for those who want to study on their own, E2 languages and IELTS Advantage. But if you want to enroll in a class, please, my course rep has an online class. Please enroll. You know, we all learn differently. Some people might not be serious studying on their own. Some will be serious because they've paid money to do it. So whichever way you think is going to help you to get what you want, just go for it. All right. So Wadu, thank you so much for all these information. Like, this is a huge amount of information to put together.
Tell me, some people have passed IELTS, but they think they failed. For example, they didn't make the qualification for UK, but they made the qualification for Ireland and for United States. And there are agencies that can sponsor you and everything. You don't pay for anything.
Now, I just have some few questions left. Those writing it multiple times, is it worth it? Should they still go ahead and put money in and keep writing?
So yes, IELTS is actually worth struggling for it, especially if you know what you are going to benefit from the IELTS. First of all, you should make sure that although you are striving to pass, but make sure that you are doing the right things, because it's not worth struggling for the wrong thing or on a wrong thing. So if you tell me is IELTS worth the struggle, yes, it is worth the struggle. For example, if you quantify the amount of money someone will spend to write IELTS 5 times vis-a-vis the amount that person is going to make as a nurse after taking the first salary, you realize that it is worth spending to write IELTS 5 times to pass. Even if you want to juxtapose the other benefits that comes with passing IELTS, the fact that you can relocate with your spouse and your children is also added advantage for you to invest in IELTS. So I think it is worth it. But my advice for people is always make sure you are doing the right things. Make sure you are learning the right way. Make sure the one teaching you is teaching you the right things. Make sure you are really practicing. You should know your score in reading within the stipulated time. You should know your score in writing. Although you cannot score yourself for writing, you should get someone to read, to point out the things they look out for when they are writing. Because when you write IELTS, they have things they look out for to grade you, like past achievements, like cohesion and cohesion, grammatical range and accuracy.
Wow.
People should be able to detect all these things from your write-up to tell you that you need to work on this, you need to work on that. If you have problem with reading, you should know that, because when you have problem with reading, there are two things. One, in IELTS reading I'm talking about, one is that you don't understand the concept of IELTS reading. Two is that you don't know the tricks associated with IELTS reading. Now, IELTS reading comes with its models. Like, IELTS is basically an exam. You know what they are going to ask you before the exams day. So if you really understand or you get someone to show you this, it's very easy. Before you go for IELTS reading, you know the question that will come. Just like you are going to write exams in medical nursing, they tell you diabetes will come. The only thing is that you don't know the specific question that may come. Same as IELTS, you know that questions may come in reading. We have question types. We have, for example, we have true, false, not giving, matching headings, matching information, yes, no, not giving, summary, completion, among others. So you should understand each of these concepts practically. You should understand the tricks underpinning each of these concepts practically. So when you know these two, automatically you start beating time.
Until I read your status, I have written IELTS and passed. Until I read your status about true, false, not giving some time ago, I still didn't understand true, false, not giving. Honestly, after reading that, like, so this is how they want us to answer the questions. How do you expect me to know this? You know, so that's what, these are some of the things you gain from maybe enrolling in a class that I never got to enjoy, you know. I think I was just lucky to have passed, honestly, with all the circumstances surrounding my situation, yeah.
I think you really invested in your IELTS. Like, you really spent time to learn. Although you did a remote class, you spent time to learn. And that's the positive aspect. So anyone, whoever you are, just know that IELTS is not for specific students. A good student academically can pass. An average student can pass IELTS. So all you have to know is to understand how to go about the IELTS. The same thing, IELTS listening. Bridget, you've written IELTS. Have you ever gone to write listening? IELTS listening, and you realize that you went and you didn't have any of these questions, fill-ups, objectives, diagrams, matching types of questions. These are the questions that come in IELTS listening. So you should understand how to answer fill-ups, in listening. You should understand how to answer diagrams in listening. You should understand how to answer objectives in listening. You should understand how to answer matching types of questions in listening. And if I say I understand, not theoretical understanding, you should be able to understand it practically. So listening will not be a problem for you. Same as speaking. Speaking is even very, very easy. People say they fear to speak, but that is even the easiest model, even whether you fear to speak or not. So these are things people should learn. I'm not saying that I know all about IELTS, but based on my experience, I've realized that most people pass one touch from my classes, and I've trained people that we teach together. All of them passed. They were students and they were very serious. So I teach with them, and almost all my students keep telling me that, sir, I've taught this person and the person passed on the first attempt. Sir, because you will leave my class understanding IELTS.
And one of your students is working here with me in my trust. Yes, I know. Let's go on.
Sure, yes. That's very good. Yes. So I advise everyone, whether you are learning it on yourself or you are reading a class, make sure that if it's a class, you have a good review about the class, and it should be economical. Even with what I do, I don't charge a lot of money. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is the point.
That's the cheapest I've come across. I'm not saying this because I'm interviewing you on my channel and I want people to watch it. No, it's the cheapest. I don't want to mention the amount. They should contact you for it if they are interested. I'm not here to advertise.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, thank you very much for that. So if you are watching this video and if you're writing IELTS and you are not passing, I'm not saying probably you should contact me to enroll in my class, but if you get in touch with me, I probably will know your problem and advise you if you can't enroll in my class. And if you want to enroll in my class, fine. We'll have a face-to-face class in Tamale and I will teach it online. So if you are not within this comfort, I always want people to do what is convenient for them. So I always advise people on how to learn it on their own, so that they start with learning on their own. And if they have difficulty, probably they can enroll in any good class around them. That's just by the way. So everyone can pass IELTS. In my class, when I completed the university, I had people who did very well in the class. And we had people who were not like that academically very good, although everyone in the class was very good. Now, when we completed, we realized that when we wrote IELTS, I've realized that some of those who were deemed not academically like on top were passing the IELTS on their first attempts. And it wasn't like that for the others. And I came to the realization that those people realize that they need help. They have to learn the IELTS way, and it helps them. Then the others probably believe in themselves, and it doesn't work for them in that manner. Yeah. So everyone can pass IELTS, and everyone should do the right thing, and that's going to help him or her to pass the IELTS on one sitting, hopefully.
Okay, Wadu, we are very grateful for your time and everything you've done for today. In fact, you've opened our eyes to so many things. One last question I have for you. I don't know if I think my audience would have loved to ask you questions. Unfortunately, it's not a live video. So I want to ask this question on behalf of my audience. Okay. How will I know a certified IELTS tutor? And how did you gain your certification to become an IELTS tutor? Or anyone at all can just teach IELTS?
All right, thank you very much, Bridget. Yes, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, at least to be able to also impact knowledge, and also I'm sure I'll be getting feedback from your viewers to help you improve. Thank you very much. So what I can say is that anyone can teach IELTS, just like anyone can be a teacher. And we also have certified teachers or licensed teachers. That's the same thing. So first of all, with IELTS, if you want to be a registered tutor, then it means that it's good for you to get enrolled with the British Council. So at least they know that you are registered with them and they're able to track your activities once in a while, you understand. And if something is not happening the way it's supposed to be, you can be reported and so on and so forth. So for Band 7 Consult, we are registered with the British Council. In fact, my boss is there. So he employed me, and how I became an IELTS tutor was that after I went through my IELTS, he was teaching in Tamale, that is in Ghana, and also in Accra, Kumasi. So it was very difficult for moving within these cities. So he wanted someone very good and to take over the Tamale class. And so one of his students who passed made a recommendation that he should get in touch with me, because that student after the class came to me to be practicing with me. So after the student passed, he wanted the student to come and take over the class. But the student told him that no, there is this guy I can vouch for who is very good. So that student vouched for my credentials and I came.
Wow.
And the first day I came and took over the class. When I taught the first day, I think the students said that they wanted me to teach. They didn't want my boss again to be teaching them. So, and he was very impressed. So since then, he said he has handed over anything I want to do, I should do. So he made sure that I got always upgrading myself in meetings and everything. So I have someone tracking me. I registered with British Council, and that's how far I came. So the students I took over from me didn't want my boss again, and that's why I became very popular, trained people and very well.
Wow.
So that is it.
Really,
our center is the only registered center within the northern region as I speak today. Yes. Wow. So that's it. And so for someone who wants to enroll in an IELTS school, first of all, be able to detect whether they are registered with British Council. That's one way to be able to detect if they have good credentials. And also be able to get people who can give you good reviews about the classes. And it's going to help you, because if you are enrolling for the first time without all these reviews, it means that you are taking a risk. It could be good, it could be bad. So that is just the point. And it's good to take good risks. And so people should be able to enroll in good classes. If you want to learn on yourself, yes, it is very possible. Like Bridget did, you can also do it, and it's going to help you. I also learned IELTS on my own, to be honest, and it took me a lot of time to learn it, and that's why I got to understand every bit of IELTS. And I've been practicing IELTS with a lot of people. I practiced with a lot of people before I took the test. So it gave me multiple experience practicing IELTS with very number of people. So that is just the point. And I'm able to break IELTS very well, probably from the recommendations of your students. One day we can have a live session with one of the models, and probably practicalize what I'm telling you for them to appreciate what we are saying very well. Yes. And it's going to help them. So if they watch and they subscribe and we are very happy, then I'm very, very happy to give them that session. So that's just by the way.
So what he's saying is subscribe, watch the video and subscribe. And if the subscription is good enough, he's willing to honor us with an IELTS class free on YouTube live, where you can also ask him questions by yourself, one-on-one. So please subscribe, keep subscribing. Let's keep the numbers going, okay? Wadu, thank you so much. In fact, I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because I know Wadu, but I'm really impressed with everything. I must say this. So from everything you said, I understand it from this point that if you are going into IELTS class with a tutor or a class that is registered, your pass is quite assured, in the sense that definitely British Council will be regulating the activities of this class and will make sure that people are not failing from the class, because they are paying for the class. If people are failing, I'm sure British Council will follow up and investigate. So if you are registering with an IELTS class, please make sure it's registered. Make sure it's accredited. Yes, let me use the word accredited. It's like you are going to a school that is not accredited. Anything can happen, and then your fees are wasted. So please be sure to enroll in a certified class where your pass is assured. Thank you so much, Wadu. Thank you so much. In fact, myself, I'm educated today. Do you have any words, any new advice for us?
Yes, thank you very much. I think I have an advice for everyone watching me. First of all, IELTS is an exam you can pass. Don't give up, regardless of how you are. In IELTS, some people, when they start seeing some of the aspects of IELTS, like the writing task 1, they see diagrams like bar charts, tables, and they think it's mathematics. So because they fear mathematics, they say they cannot do this exam. So now let me tell you that it is possible. You can pass IELTS. Watch your colleagues. You realize that those you were better than have passed IELTS. Those better than you have passed IELTS. Those who are the same level have passed IELTS. It doesn't mean that you are demeaning them, or you think it's to tell you that you can also do. If you do the right things, they also did. So the point is that always do the right things that your colleagues did and can pass IELTS. Also, try to find out what you want to use your IELTS results for. Do you want to travel to the USA to practice as a nurse, or to search for scholarship options? Do you want to travel to the UK as a nurse, to Ireland as a doctor? Just know what you want to use your IELTS for, and determine. Some people have passed IELTS, but they think they failed. For example, they didn't make the qualification for UK, but they made the qualification for Ireland and for United States, and there are agencies that can sponsor you and everything. You don't pay for anything. and they think they failed. So you can be doing even the United States of America's process while you are learning again to write. If it is UK you want, so it is possible you can pass. Make sure you are doing the right thing. You can learn on your own and pass. So don't let anyone let you feel IELTS is not for you. And for you who have written the IELTS for like 5, 6, 7, 10 times, all I can tell you is that you are determined. Take your time. Make sure you are doing the right thing. And let me add this, Bridget. What makes a lot of people to fail IELTS, I forgot to add it, is the fact that they fear on exams day and a lack of confidence. I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of ladies, and I've come to a conclusion that most of them who fail because of the fear that they go through on the exam day. They see the examiners, they enter the hall and they see 500,000 people taking the exams with them. Probably they were practicing alone and they were doing well. They've never had the opportunity to practice in a crowd. So when they see this number of people, they see the examiners, then they begin to panic. They fear, they lose confidence. And you know, IELTS is about time, and time beats them, and everything, like they get messed up. That's what affects a lot of people. But your ability to manage this tension is what's going to help you. So that's why I advise people to get at least one steady partner who is serious. If you can't get one, just get one. So you are used to practicing with someone before the exams day. So this is what actually affects a lot of people. And I said I have some students, some of the ladies who were very good, scoring high band scores in class, but they couldn't make it on their first attempt because after the exam they told me, say, I got panic, I was shivering, I couldn't write. So what is going to happen? Like, you can't do anything. So what I tell them is that IELTS is very important, it's very beneficial, but always note that IELTS is not about life or death. If you don't pass IELTS, you will not die. If you pass IELTS, it doesn't mean you will stay forever. So put it at the back of your mind that it's not about life or death. If you don't pass, you come back stronger. So this is a way to motivate yourself and to keep you on track. And the best way to also be able to do this practically is just to get at least one person or two people who are serious and be practicing with them. You get used to it and remain focused. Forget about the examiners on the exam day. Forget about the other people there. You pay your money. You remove your money to register for the test because you know the benefits it comes with. Look at your family. Look at the fact that the benefit is going to bring to you and your family. And it should be enough motivation for you not to get scared and not to fear anyone and for you to go for the exams and pass. So I'm assuring you that once you do the right things, you are going to pass IELTS on your next attempt. God willing.
Please, if you're watching me for the first time, kindly subscribe to this channel, okay? We talk about stuff like this. This is a disclaimer. I am not an immigration officer, consultant, or anything of that sort, but I dedicated this channel to share information such as this one to you so that you get informed and then you take the right decisions towards your relocation or immigration processes. Well, once again, we are very grateful you honored our invitation. And then
thank you very much.
We would love to have you once again.
Bye.
All right, dear. Bye.
Bye.